What's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to WWE NXT review, the show from October 30. Excuse me, I was about to sneeze. Okay, I'm better now. October 23rd, 2019. They were at Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. Your commentators, as usual, are Mauro Ranallo, Beth Phoenix, and Nigel McGuinness. Folks, I just want to say I apologize for not being able to do the review at advance, but I'm going to try my best to to catch up on it, and we'll see where it goes from there. So here we go. We got Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, which I thought was a very good match. Basically, Rhea Ripley needs some wins. If she wants to claim her rights of being no longer contender against the NXT champion Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. So it's just going to be a very good match. Io Shirai ends up getting involved where it almost costs Rhea Ripley. And then Candice LeRae comes out to even the odds. And all of a sudden, the match, with all the commotions going on outside, the match still continues on in the ring, with Rhea Ripley getting the win over Bianca Belair. And after the match, she starts celebrating, and there you go. Rhea Ripley is getting very over, dearly on the main roster. Well, on NXT, but actually, there's something we need to talk about that one once I get to that review, which I when I get do a little catching up of it. So, but yeah, good match though to open up the show. We got Kathy Kelly outside of Full Sail interviewing Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Basically, she brings up the whole thing with Pete Dunne losing to Damian Priest the way that he lost, and then he says payback is coming to Damian Priest, and then she brings up Killian Dane, and then Pete Dunne basically says that Killian Dane is not his concern, as Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate walks off. So we get Matt Riddle versus Cameron Grimes. And you have Tyler Bate at ringside watching this match. So you knew what was going to happen, what was going to be coming with potential Tyler Bate being at ringside, in front row seat with the fans. He's waving and everything. He gives a fist bump to, Matt Riddle. So and then we get to the match. Matt Riddle versus Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes immediately tried to go for the cave-in, which Matt Riddle thought quickly on see all of it. And the match still was pretty damn good. These guys were basically being the living hell of each other, and that was the type of match that I really enjoyed. And in the end, it was Matt Riddle getting the win. And Cameron Grimes, he's got to get back to the drum ball after losing. So after the match, Matt Riddle leaves, and then also Cameron Grimes ends up leaving the ring. He ends up seeing Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate was asked about Grimes or why he didn't bump the fist of Matt Riddle, because Matt Riddle he offered a fist bump to Cameron Grimes, great match and everything, and he didn't give him the fist bump, and Tyler Bate took offense of that, because he's not showing any respect to his opponent. So Cameron Grimes basically shows Tyler Bate, and then he goes to get his hat, and then Tyler Bate did this whole bop and bang. So yeah, that's and that was why Tyler Bate was there, because that's good sub a program for Tyler Bate versus Cameron Grimes, which ends up being on the next NXT show, which I'll get to that when I get to that review, when I do a little catching up. Then we had Dijakovic. He's warmed up for his main event match against Keith Lee and Roderick Strong for the NXT North American Championship, and we'll get to that match later on. We get NXT General Manager William Regal announcing that the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, will be defending their Women's Tag Team Championships on NXT on the next episode of it. Once I do that review, and do a little catching up there. It pertains to the winners between Maria Shafir and Jessica Menduke, two of the Force Women, versus Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox of Team Kick. And we'll get to that match later on. We get Breezango teamed up with Isaiah Scott. Originally, it was supposed to be someone that was supposed to be teamed up with Breezango. I can't remember who it was. But Isaiah Swerve Scott is being the replacement for the team. And as far as Breezango, I don't remember what they were dressed up as. It doesn't even say here. I don't remember if they were. Oh yeah, Kushida. Kushida was replaced because he's injured. It's not a serious injury, but it's a minor injury where it's keep him out for a while, and he'll be back pretty soon. But Isaiah Swerve Scott ends up being the replacement. But yeah, but then they go up against the Forgotten Sons, which is Steve Cutler, Wesley Blake, and Jackson Riker. Match itself, it was decent. Basically, it was showing nothing but highs of Isaiah Swerve Scott's performance, and it did its job. And top it all off, Isaiah Swerve Scott is getting the win for his team. Isaiah Swerve Scott and Breezango ends up beating the Forgotten Sons. And there you go. The Undisputed Era were backstage as they have getting Roderick Strong getting a warm up for his match for to defend his North American Championship in the main event against Dominik Dijakovic and Keith Lee, which we'll get to that main event later on. We get NXT Cruiserweight Champion Lio Rush on commentary as he watched this next match, which it ends up being Angel Garza versus Gentleman Jack Gallagher. But before we got to the match, we also see Killian Dane is somewhere next to a fire, and basically send a message to Pete Dunne about he broke his fingers, and he's gonna break Pete Dunne. Basically, he's warning Pete Dunne that he's gonna break him. So, and we'll see how that program leads up to as I do a little catching up with regards to NXT to my NXT reviews. But the match itself between Angel Garza and Jack Gallagher was a good match. Lio Rush on commentary, he was like, he's killing it. He's killing it. He wasn't that great on commentary, but I couldn't get over the fact that he kept saying he's killing it. Yeah, the Angel Garza. It was the Angel Garza, which I'm assuming it was the Angel Garza, or it was probably Gentleman Jack Gallagher because all the momentum they were doing in the match, because they were killing it. They were killing it. In the end, it was Angel Garza getting the win, which gets him next in line for an opportunity for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. And Angel Garza is getting over with all these WWE fans of NXT. I guarantee you, if they have him on the main roster of Raw and SmackDown, he'll probably get over because because he's got charisma, he's got personality, he's got potential, he's got a good look, he's good looking, he's a Hispanic wrestlers should be in professional wrestling. I could say in a way he has that comparison of Eddie Guerrero. Some people may not know what I mean by that, but just look at him, man. You could see that he's got that star power that make a superstardom within him like Eddie Guerrero once had. So, and I see that in Angel Garza. So yeah, that's gonna lead to a program between Lio Rush and Angel Garza in the future, and we'll get to that when I do a little catching up of my NXT of my NXT reviews. no contendership match between Team Kick, which is Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai versus two of the four horsewomen of Maria Shafir and Jessica Mendouk. They were first being accompanied by Shayna Baszler, the NXT Women's Champion, and then she lets them go have at it to have fun. And the match happens. Match itself, it was decent. But in the end, it was Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox winning, which obviously I knew that was coming. There's nothing going on with the two of the four horsewomen, unfortunately. So they don't have any momentum back behind them, or pertains to of why they should be gunning for the for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Speaking of the Women's Tag Team Championships, we got the Kabuki Warriors showing up on the Titantron, basically let them know, and basically they were laughing and taunting them, and then and basically they had no chance against them, and we'll get to that when I do a little catching up of the NXT reviews. And then we see Keith Lee warming up for his match in the main event, where it pertains to him going after the NXT North American Championship against the champion Roderick Strong and also the other challenger Dominik Dijakovic. And now we get to the match itself here. The triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic versus the NXT North American Champion title holder Roderick Strong. And this match was great. Three guys looked great in the match. Three guys, they gel well together, and also it was I love the storytelling too, where Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic went after Roderick Strong because not only because he's an undisputed era, but he's the reason why he caused all this shenanigans in the first place. So it was nice storytelling there. Them working together, and they ends up taking him out at one point, and they end up going at each other. And then in the end, I can't remember how it was done. Keith Lee. When Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic are in the ring and they do something in the ring together, it's gonna be impactful. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be, fantastic, and it just never ceases to amaze me. With the size difference between these two guys, it's just amazing. But I can't remember how it was done though. It was like a hurricanrana with a huge power bomb off the top rope. Know that. But then Roderick Strong immediately follows it up with the running boot, which is the sick kick to Keith Lee, and gets the win. So your winner and still NXT North American Champion Roderick Strong. So Roderick Strong stands tall, and Undisputed Era comes into the ring to celebrate. All of a sudden, we get Tommaso Ciampa coming out with the crutch. He's going to fight the Undisputed Era. And then all of a sudden, Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling comes out, to make things even. So Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, DIY together once again. And they was about to fight against Undisputed Era here. And all of a sudden, Finn Bálor comes out. And I say to myself, oh, this is going to get good too. So now it's a 3-on-4 situation. And I say to myself, okay, who's going to be the fourth guy? So I'm assuming this is going to lead to a teaser that it's going to be all war games between Undisputed Era against Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Finn Bálor, and whoever it was is going to that's going to be coming out next. So Finn Bálor takes off his jacket, get ready to fight, alongside with Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano. And at that point, by the way, Ciampa got rid of his crutch, and that's Bálor taking off his jacket, and they get ready to have at it, and Undisputed Era is ready for the fight too. Finn Bálor goes for his Pele kick to Johnny Gargano, and like what? Ciampa looked shocked, the fans looked shocked, Undisputed Era looked shocked, and Undisputed Era didn't hesitate long enough. They attacked Ciampa, and Ciampa tried to fight back. Finn Bálor ends up taking out Gargano on the outside and basically just destroys him and throws him into the I think it was like over the barricade or through the barricade that collapsed and then land on these fans, were plants, by the way. I'm pretty sure those were performer, soon up and coming wrestlers in NXT, the developmental or performers. And then Finn Bálor, Undisputed Era continue on assaulting Tommaso Ciampa. Bálor hits the Bloody Sunday. And yes, they call it the 1914 or 1916, whatever, but that's a WWE marketing name for a move. It's the Bloody Sunday. On the steel rampway. And Bálor does the fingers gesture. Well, first Undisputed Era did the whole Undisputed Era thing, because they doing this. But Finn Bálor did this. The gun gesture. Bullet Club. So I say to myself, oh boy, is this gonna lead to Finn Bálor forming in his own factions that's gonna be happening on NXT? Because we've been clamoring for this one on the main roster for a long time, but they won't do it. But on NXT, Finn Bálor's getting a second chance here to do it. But the question is, who's gonna be? I wonder how's that gonna end up. But yeah, but Finn Bálor, he's heel. He is a heel. He turned on Gargano and Ciampa. Now, just because he attacked them doesn't mean he's part of Undisputed Era. I think he's gonna be his own man, and he's gonna gather his own club members. And Bálor Club, basically Bullet Club, but they can't have that name because New Japan's is Bullet Club. Pertains to the original Bullet Clubs from overseas. So Finn Bálor is gonna do his own Bullet Club, which is gonna be Bálor Club, and then not the Bálor Club that was a joke on Raw, where it pertains to Finn Bálor, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows. And it was a cluster field too, because Vince McMahon and the creatives didn't know what to do with that. So shocking. But anyways, and that was the show. Talking about wrestling for WWE NXT, the show from October 23rd, 2019. 6 matches. Let me just double check. Okay, I may have got it wrong. 3. 6. Yeah. And my overall rating for the show, due to the Finn Bálor turn, which that was wow. That was a swerve that was. And some of that, this was a good show. So I'm gonna go with an 8.5 out of 10. And with that being said, thank you for watching for It's the Natural Born Driller, saying peace on the streets. For this was your WWE NXT review of the show from October 23rd, 2019. Until next time, we'll return to the WWE NXT review, which I will be catching up to do all of this, folks. But for now, I'm out.